here. Welcome everyone again. From my side, my name, as mentioned, is wolfgangsimmawallinger, Digital Product Manager at Cree, and I'm so happy because this topic of today's event really matches a lot with things I did in my past and I hopefully can do in the future. I was trained as an architect, and as an architect I worked in Vienna, in London, in Rome, and made my experiences there. And now here I'm in Vorarlberg with Cree Buildings, where I'm super happy to be part of a very disruptive company in a very conservative industry. So we have a lot of challenges. They come from many different angles. So sustainability is key of what we do, but of course also making the world a better place and creating a future for all of us, a better future for all of us. So I shortly outlined the few topics that I would talk about. I would show you some examples from my past. Of course, I will talk about Cree Buildings as such, about Cree, the platform, which is an essential thing that I'm working on at the moment, and the current framework, which is then open for a discussion as well. About the topic, as I said, I really like the overall topic, a new digital deal, because there always is a deal behind of what we do and what we consider as the right things to do, and also this disruptivity by design, because as a designer, I like to disrupt processes. And wherever I come across, sometimes I say, let's hack it, which is not very well received sometimes, but that's what we do many times. And disruptivity and the digital deal are something that makes me think of since forever, or let's say in my career, the last 25 years. And I always say, at the moment when you have a breakthrough, the first thing you have to do is get over the gravel. So this is kind of the notion, my notion, in terms of design by process. Did I go ahead? Yes. I would like to start with some examples from my past, as I mentioned. And here is the first one. This is a project I did when I was working in London in 2006. It was a redesign of a city on the outskirts of London called Croydon. And we had to create a new vision for the city. And therefore we created 20 ideas. And the absurd thing was, back then we had the title Vision 2020 for Croydon, which means 2020 is like the perfect vision. And 2020 was also like the goal when this should be done. So it never happened. But you see, we disrupted everything. So there was an underpass, and we created ideas for that. And you saw it was an awful lot of work, because there is a section and a ground floor plan of the whole city, which is, of course, just a representation of what we did, because we had to think the public space completely different. And what we did was, we didn't come to that ideas just by thinking, oh, what could be nice. We went there, let's say, every other week and talked to different groups of people. So first we went to the pub, of course, but afterwards we talked to the local authorities. And this was the most exciting part, there was one weekend when we had a canvas who was 20 meters long and 3 meters high, and we started painting. This was something Will Alsop always used as one of his techniques to engage people. And this was such a such an amazing thing to be part of. Because when you come out of university, you think, okay, we can do everything by concept. We can do it by philosophy. But then you come up with Notion, and now I quote Will also, and then he said, and then I figured out I have no fucking clue. Because you have to ask and talk to people. And this is what we did in this project. Yeah, one project out of my past. Disruption process, done. Another one, another project I did back in Vienna was called Urban Chatroom, which was a technology project based on architectural interventions where we had the idea to create location-based chat rooms for people to place and receive information about this area. And the disruptive thing behind that was that we thought, okay, we as architects and urban planners, we also have to design the virtual room. And we wanted people that people bridge the gap between their virtual and the real appearance at a certain place. Yeah, it was a nice project. We had some good appearances in the city of Vienna, but now the project is kind of on hold. Let's call it that way. And last but not least, projects I did in the past. That was also the time when I moved to Vorarlberg. I was running the Biennale office for 2018 and for the Venice Biennale. And here I had the chance to work together with the curator, Verena Konrad, and as well with 3 extraordinary teams. One was LAG, architectural practice based in Innsbruck. Then Henke Schreieck, 2 architects from Vienna, and the local hero Stefan Sagmeister and Jessica Walsh. These 3 teams got the Austrian pavilion for their interventions, and it was such an interesting process to follow and to be part of all the decision making and everything they did. Went kind of through my table, and so I had a really nice inside view. And I just want to outline here the three headlines of their work, because there was a glass a mirror on the floor in the LAG project, which was a simulation or a model 1 to 50,000 of the globe in a mirror. So the intention was the reflection of the world in the globe, and this was, of course, awesome to have this picture from the drone on top. But also, when you entered the pavilion, it was really great, and it did wonderfully go well with what Stefan Sagmeister and Jessica Walsh did under the title "Beauty Equals Function," because they materialized everything in a different way, and there was a video installation which came from a complete different angle. But if you do it the right way, and if the process is orchestrated, then it really works out. And last but not least, that's the image down here. This is from Henke Schreieck, Layers of Atmosphere. And I really like to share this project, because it shows if there is a process, and if there are boundaries, and everybody is there when they are needed, then it really works out to collaborate, and then collaboration can also bring together very different mindsets, different backgrounds, and ways of working. So now I continue to give you an insight to CRE buildings. Cree Buildings is a company where hybrid plays a big role. Wood, concrete, hybrid buildings, that's what we do. Engineering, technology, and the responsibility for our planet. This is what drives us at Cree. Now and in the future. So, because we are not there yet, but we're making progress. Because Cree is a consultancy and digital platform company where we provide consultancy and service to our partners that we have all over the world. We are not a building company, we are not a general contractor, and we are not producers. So what the heck are these guys doing? We provide know-how, infrastructure, and again, the process how to create better buildings for the future. These are kind of the cornerstones of what we do. And rather than talking about what that means in detail, I will show you how it looks like when the magic happens. This should work now. So this is a construction site of a Cree building that we did 1.5 years ago. It was called Handwerkerhaus in Bremen. And here you see how Cree works. So when the planning, the prefabrication is done, then there is the erection, and this is a time-lapse video of the erection of this building. And, you know, again, process is the key. Everybody needs to know what to do at what time, and then something like this can happen. So we minimize complexity and maximize the repetitive procedures that you saw here. No. But so this was one building, and I also want to show you some other solutions that we are working on, other designs that we are working on. For example, the image you see in the center, this is a building that is right before completion. It will be, so the people will move in, I hope, end of this year. And it's in Berlin, sorry, at the Südkreuz in Berlin. Yeah, and to bring this know-how to all our partners across the world, we started 2.5 years ago our design of the Cree platform, and the Cree platform is something where you can, on one hand, you get the know-how of everything you need to know of the Cree system. You're going to be taught, because knowing means not knowing everything, so you need to be taught and trained, and then you can create the solutions from the early stage design until the project delivery. And of course, Cree and the process and the Cree platform is always, because on a construction site, on the planning, you always have so many people involved. So this is the challenge that we have, how to create this community. So how can we make sure that we have the right people at the right time, at the right place, not only physically on a construction site, but already beforehand. But we accepted the challenge, and we work hard on all areas of our platform, and I'm happy to share the status quo of our development here. I'm so happy you made it, Clemens. Clemens, sitting over there, he's architect at Cree Buildings, and he also gives virtual tours at Cree Buildings. We call him our virtual media Speerspitze in the company. He also did this video. Nice that you made it. Yeah. So, but what you have seen in the video is that I have 1 minute and I have to rush now. So it's about communication, it's about know-how, it's about the network. So, and these are the cornerstones of our platform. But of course, we have 1 minute, and this should be enough to go maybe into some parts, because we did hear about some of the framework aspects. I would like to go deeper, but I stay on top. So this was a vision in, what did it say, 1910, how buildings should be delivered and what the role of the architect could be. So what it needs is always a vision. And then it needs someone who is really going after this vision. I think we, when I say we, I mean Cree, but I also mean us as designers. We are really have to have this vision, and we have to have also the ambition to go over the gravel after every breakthrough, because otherwise we're not gonna make it. You mentioned it right before, human-centric design, planet-centric design. Of course, this is in our DNA. This is what we do every day, as well as, of course, the Sustainable Development Goals, which are, again, deeply in our DNA. But I want to say one more thing about this book from Simon Sinek, the finite versus the infinite game. Because it's not the thing that you always should try to win the game. It's important to stay in the game. This is what I wanted to say here. And I can say yes, and I hope we really still want to save the world as designers. And I myself, I'm super happy to have this opportunity to have an impact for me, for my family, for my kids, and for us as a society. And this makes me get up every morning, and let's shape the future together. Thank you. Questions? No. Thank you.
How many people are you?
25. Not mentioning our offshore and partners around the world.
Yeah, because you showed us the platform, and there are a lot of different partners involved.
Yeah. It was in the video. At the moment, we have 12 licensed partners around. At the moment, we have 12 licensed partners around the world. Number growing monthly.
And they all contribute their
Yeah.
technologies
Yeah.
and their knowledge.
Exactly.
Considering building.
Yeah. This is the idea behind, because we believe in sharing. So we share what we have, but on the other hand, we want others to share with us what they do. Because as you can imagine, the complexity of a construction site, of the building industry, in all these different countries, that's endless. So it does only work if we bring our power together. Yeah. And this is really the mindset of Cree. And I'm also very happy that our managing director, Rainer Strauch, is also here in the audience. I appreciate that a lot.
Kann ich noch was sagen? Yeah, my question is, are you how are you co-working with other architects? Is it that CRE gives the Gesamtkonzept, the whole thing, the whole process? Or because there are many architect offices of different sizes, and the bigger ones have similar software. I mean, they all have software solutions because they need to show buildings from China to America, whatever, and they sit maybe in Vorarlberg. So sometimes that is already a challenge, yeah? And some have that cracked. And then I don't know what you have in English as Bauleitung, the project management. It's very often local. So is that where your strength is, and you can use different architects to develop something, or are you coming always with a full package? That was the question.
Yes and no. Of course, there are different ways how, in different countries, how they deliver projects and how the planning processes look like. But we try to be have a basic information for everyone in every country. So whatever program they use to work, we try to help to give them the right information. For example, if you have the imperial or the metric system, we try to give them the information about the imperial systems and how the CRE system can be displayed in that system. And for us, and I didn't mention it, technology is key. So, because without having the right technologies in place, we were not able to do that. So this is also the moment now, the moment in time now to really grow with this kind of prefabricated building system.
My question relates to that as well. How do you build trust? How do you choose your partners? Because to me it looks like choosing a co-founder. You share all the knowledge, they have to share their knowledge. Do you have a secret sauce you use?
Yeah, so now I have to say, Rainer, come up here. How do we build trust? How do we build trust?
Okay. Of course, there are contractual relations, right? It's not all about trust. We also trust our lawyers. A bit, just a bit. So, I mean, we identify companies mostly by them approaching us, and then we get in contact with their top management, and then we introduce our ideas, and then we ask them, are you ready to do that? Because you need to share. And many construction companies, or even the most, and development companies, they wouldn't share, so they are then out of range. So, but the ones who are already there in their mindset, they are usually also trustworthy. And we are too. We prove that all the time. So this builds trust. And we are transparent. I mean, we openly discuss everything. We openly discuss mistakes that we have made, maybe misdevelopments. We also tell them, you know, we can just give you examples for solutions that we have developed with our other partners, but for your country, you probably need to adapt the technology to certain code requirements, to certain climatic requirements, so they know what they buy. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Thank you, Rainer. So that's how we build trust.